Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Vibe with Kai podcast. Today, we're diving deep into the importance of men's mental health with none other than the brilliant Chris Thompson, aka SupDaily, with a 16-year-long content creation journey, an expansive platform of millions, and his podcast Unfiltered Friends, taking the audio waves by storm. Chris truly knows the power of genuine communication. His passion for people, leadership, and the community makes him an ideal guest to shed light on today's topic, which is addressing the stigma surrounding men's mental health. Please welcome to the show my friend, Chris Thompson, SupDaily. What's going on, man?
Can you send that to me? Because I've never written a synopsis of me that was that good. So I'm
I
good
I
though.
I pride myself on my intros. I wanna like
Yeah.
start off on a high note and then go down from there.
Yeah. Let's really let people down for the rest of our time
Yes,
here.
exactly.
For
Story of
sure.
my life. Story of my life, Chris.
Yeah.
No, I'm really happy you're here because you were actually one of my first like big content creator friends, right? Like I'm going back to like I think this was like 2019 on
Yeah.
on TikTok, and I remember I at that point I don't even think I had like even 50,000 followers on TikTok yet,
Yeah.
and I was following you, and we were making some videos back and forth, and it was about the time that you were about to hit 1 million on TikTok. And I remember you included me in like a little group of friends with people to potentially do a dance with, and I was like, why is he including me? I'm like everybody else has like millions of followers, and me, I'm like, hi guys, what's going on? Making videos in my bathroom. So I just want to say thank you for that because that helped my content platform a lot. Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, the numbers are like I actually have a whole TED talk about the term influencer. I'm really
Mhm.
trying to change a lot of the narrative of how we view it. It's called influencer as a verb.
Mhm.
It's not the number is just how far your reach is, not the quality
Yeah.
of your reach or what you do with
Mhm.
it. So you having a lot of followers was less relevant than you being a decent human being that makes content that I enjoy.
Right.
Like you could have
Right.
5 followers, but if I enjoy you, like that's not a barometer of your worth. It's just
Right.
a number.
Yeah, and it's funny because at the time I didn't know that because like at the time like this TikTok was still like very new to me ish. No, this had to actually be 2020 because I remember like that's when TikTok really blew up. So it had to be 2020.
Yeah.
And I like this was all really new to me. And I was surprised I even had one follower, let alone 50,000 at the
Yeah.
time. And so like now it makes sense to me that like honestly I don't really care about like the number of like people that follow me because to me I want to people that want to engage. I'd rather have 10 people that really want to engage than 100,000 that don't,
Yeah, that's
kind of
a
thing.
conversation I started having with people is like
Hmm.
maybe instead of constantly trying to find new people, try to find new people, but focus your energy on developing relationships with the people who are already there. Like
Absolutely.
this is not Pokemon. You don't collect them all. You I want to actually like know, and that's how you have longevity is
Yes.
you actually create a true relationship with the people who follow you.
And I think that's also why we see a lot of TikTok creators burn out because I see like how many content creators can you think of? I can think of a bunch over the past couple of years that got big real fast
Hmm.
and then fell off.
Yeah, that I mean, like you said at the beginning, I've been at this, now 17 years,
Hmm.
and the people who started when I started are not here for the most part, and there's
Hmm.
multiple reasons for that. But if and this is actually a more recent realization because I was one of those people who was
Hmm.
getting burnt out for like the 15th time, and I came to the
Hmm.
realization, and this was thanks to a lot of therapy as well,
Yeah.
is my struggle was worthiness. So
Mm.
my worth was found in other people approving of what I was doing. And
Right.
you're going to get burnt out if your life is constantly what do other people want first instead
Yes.
of what is going to serve you. So I'm transferring from being the bee to being the flower. I'm not buzzing around. I'm becoming fragrant and attracting the right people.
That was the deepest shit I've ever heard in my life. That
I've
was
done a lot of
fantastic.
work. I've done a lot of work. It's not my concept, but
Right, right.
it's yeah, be the flower, not the bee, because the bee's buzzing around,
Mhm.
pollinating a bunch of places, and you get tired after a while.
Right,
But if you're just chilling,
right,
be like, this is who I am. Come on in if you like, but
right.
being okay if no one does.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
freedom. That's absolute freedom. And then you can build the audience that you want to build, not an audience that you are beholden to whatever their wants are. Now, not saying you don't
Mm-hmm.
ever consider their wants, but for your own well-being,
Mm-hmm.
you want to make
Yes.
sure you're building audience around content that you actually enjoy. Because to be
Yes.
successful, you have to be able to repeat it. And after a while,
Yes.
if you don't like it, it's
Mm-hmm.
like, no, I don't
it,
want
it
to
can
do this
get
anymore.
it can truly get exhausting,
Yeah.
like really, really exhausting. And so I really do just focus on like, okay, I like making this type of video. If people don't like it, okay, fine, but I like it. So
Yeah.
so, and the people that follow me like it, so I'm just gonna stick with that. But I've always respected your platform because you are a male
I
who
am.
is
Thank you.
surprise everybody, surprise, congratulations.
You never know.
You are a male who is vulnerable on
Yes.
his platform. Like that's, to me at least, a fairly newish concept of the last like half a decade. There weren't too many men on social media that were just opening up their feelings and their heart and their struggles and things like that. As a content creator that's been doing this for a very long time, the last couple of years have probably been like a little renaissance in regards to like mental health in general, but specifically men's mental health. What has that been like for you the last couple of years, just being able to open up and be vulnerable with people that you've never met before?
The thing is like I was always able to do that.
Mm,
And the reason that I was always able to do that is because I grew up in an environment that fostered it.
mm,
And that's something that I keep in mind when I encounter men who are not able to do that. Is I understand that my situation was unique. I had both a mother and father that understood that I was an emotional and sensitive person and
mm,
allowed me to be myself. But when you get into toxic masculine ideals, now let's define this because I see it misused so often. Toxic masculinity is not toxicity coming from men, but the pressure on men to act a certain way to be considered masculine. Another thing is masculine is not male, feminine is not female. They are two energies that exist within all of us. So what I got to experience was the ability to be both in masculine and feminine energy in the same person, creating balance. But hell if people didn't try to physically beat it out of me or ridicule me out of it. Like it's a pressure that you face every day. So if you don't have that environment that I had to go back to where I could be that and that was okay and I was validated for the person I was, you're going to spend your life hiding.
mm.
So it's less that I'm excited to be able to do it myself. It's more exciting to see, welcome, brother. You can come here and you can be a sensitive person. You don't have to be that definition. You can be who you are, and it's safer to do so, depending on the environment, obviously.
Right, right. And it's great that you've had that. What stinks is that not a lot of men have had that kind of
Yeah.
environment growing up. And do you do you hear a lot from other men that follow you about their upbringing and why it's a struggle for them to open up, to not just on a social media platform but just in general? Do you hear a lot of stories from men that struggle with that?
I don't really hear their stories
Mm-hmm.
often. I do hear thank you because a
Mm,
lot of men who would love to be more open, more emotional, um, don't see examples for various reasons of healthy masculinity from men. I think by and large, men are less of the conversation online in general. I mean,
mm-hmm.
even TikTok is like, even the demographics is majority women, and
Mm-hmm.
an even larger majority are the women leading the conversation. So and then you see the guys who are there, and a lot of them are horrendous examples. So
Mm.
no wonder people think that all men are horrendous because that's
Yeah,
what they're seeing. But
yeah.
what I've noticed is that the ones who could be contributing wonderful things to the conversation either prioritize their piece or don't have the capacity to speak. So they do so privately. So
Mm.
they'll reach out to, like, I spoke about the fact that I was drugged and raped in college. The response online publicly was not kind to me,
Mm-hmm.
but there was a lot of men who reached out to me privately and were like, thank you for even validating that this is a thing. And maybe they come back and talk, but at least they had that moment where they're like, oh, I'm not alone, which has
Right.
been my purpose, regardless of gender, on the internet. Like it opened up a lot of women's eyes to the fact that it
Right.
could happen to a man too. And hopefully that starts conversation, and we start focusing a little bit less on the division and more about our commonality, which I
Right.
guess is a little kumbaya, but I'm an idealist, you know?
Right, right. So how do you do it? How do you find your peace? How do you fill your cup? Because putting your feelings out there online, it's even if you come from an environment where it's fostered, like millions of people are like you're letting them into your life, right? To judge away, to think whatever they want. And not everything's going to be like good job, Chris. So like how do you whenever you do get hit with any sort of like negativity there, how do you fill your cup? How do you bring yourself to peace?
I think the most important thing at this point is understanding what your truth is.
Mm,
What, like, people can say whatever they want about you. It's not truth, it's opinion.
mm-hmm,
Now, there might be aspects of truth, but they're viewing it through their own experiences. And I try to be sensitive to that too. There's a reason that some happy people don't spend their time going after other people. Just
mm,
straight up don't. Now, there's like
mm-hmm,
certain regions where, like, we need advocacy and stuff like that. But a lot of the ugliness you see comes from someone else's experiences and has nothing to do with me. Your
mm-hmm,
opinion of me is none of my business,
mm-hmm.
especially if you don't know me. So that's
Right.
what I do. I know what my truth is. Like, oh, this person said this about me. Is this true to my experience? Because I'm the only one who's lived this life and been
Mm-hmm,
in this body the entire time.
mm-hmm.
Now, do we have blind spots? Absolutely. So that's
Oh
why I'm
yeah.
surrounded by people who are not yes people that will tell me exactly what it is. I was like, hey,
Mm-hmm,
is there something that I could learn here? Is there something in my behavior that I could improve? Because I always want to be kind to the world
mm-hmm,
around me. And we all have blind spots, and they either say yes, and then I work on it, or they say no, and I
mm-hmm.
move on. And then I
Yeah.
consider the source. This person who I've never met, who knows nothing about me, has an opinion of the context of my character. Is that really why am I
Mm-hmm.
considering this?
Right, right, right,
It
right.
doesn't mean it doesn't hurt your feelings. It doesn't
Mm-hmm.
mean that it doesn't bother you. You just got to do your best to focus on the things that you know and ignore the things that are not helpful at all,
Right, right, right. It's really interesting that, we talked earlier about, the toxic masculinity and what society says that men should be doing and how we should be acting and things like that. Do you think social media I think this goes without saying, but like, do you think that social media has played the biggest part at pushing that societal expectation of what men should and shouldn't be?
Um, I think it's always been a thing. Like, look, I went and saw the Barbie movie, right?
Hmm.
A lot of people, did you watch it?
I did, yeah. Hmm.
A lot of people had a lot of really interesting takes
Hmm. Yes.
um of it because people have their own agendas. But if you actually listen to what they say at the end of the movie, spoiler alert, they talk about how patriarchal society hurts everyone,
Yes.
men and women. We're not in
Hmm.
a pissing contest for who has it worse. It's just
Hmm.
a provable fact that it
Hmm.
hurts all of us. So I think that patriarchal society has been around for a really, really long time.
Yes.
I just think that social media puts it in all of our faces and we're
Mm,
looking at it now. But it's always
hmm.
been a thing, a place where it's harming both men and women. Um, you just got to pick your place where you have those conversations
Sure.
because you got to consider your own safety. But I think social media exacerbated a problem that already existed.
Right, right. And I really did enjoy the Barbie movie. I did one of those double features where it was Barbie and Oppenheimer.
Oh
I
man, that's
didn't
a
do it in one
lot.
day. I didn't do it in one day.
Oh, okay.
I did one day and one the next day. But because
By the
Lord
time I
knows I
got to the
like, oh
end
my
of
gosh.
Oppenheimer, I was just like, oh my God,
I
bro.
know.
It was like 3 hours long. I was like,
Yes.
this is so much.
There's a lot to like that was one
Yeah.
weekend where I'm like I have a lot to think about this from this past
Yeah.
weekend from a lot of different sides. But one of the really interesting things that I didn't plan this in regards to Barbie and Oppenheimer, but this actually leads into the next question that I have, which is in regards to therapy. So I saw Barbie, then I saw Oppenheimer, and I go to therapy every other Monday at 6 o'clock, and I had therapy that Monday. And so that Monday, it was a lot for me to like, I was still trying to process from this past weekend, let alone everything else that was going on in my life at the time. And I realized, after my therapy session that day, how important therapy is for me because like I can just talk at somebody And they don't necessarily give me answers, but they help me find answers. They help me process in a healthy way. And I was really, really thankful for that, because I was starting to realize some things, uh, and I was able to find my sense of truth. And like that felt good. I felt better.
Mhm.
Can you talk a little bit about what the therapy journey has been for you in your life?
Yeah, I mean, it makes you aware,
Mm,
like I think the word trigger is thrown around quite a bit, but people don't truly understand what it means. And the way it was explained to me by my therapist, which made a lot of sense to me, is I was doing a modality of therapy called EMDR, which is
mm,
really
mhm,
intense and meant for trauma work.
mhm,
And so you basically go back into one of your most painful memories over and over again, relive it, reprocess it, and look at it in a different way. And one of the ways he explained triggers was you've got you've got short term over here, you've got long term over here, and then you have a pickup truck that transfers the memories from short to long.
mhm,
And a lot of the time, memories will fall off the back of the pickup truck on the way to long. Most of those
mhm,
memories don't matter, but some of them are traumatic moments that are stuck in this like purgatory. So
mm,
what a trigger is like something's connected to that traumatic feeling and you don't know how to process it, so you freak out.
mhm,
So what therapy did was help me understand why I was freaking out. Why am
mhm,
I freaking out over this? What is causing me with this, people pleasing behavior? Why don't I feel worthy? Why is this memory still hurting me? Why is this scenario? It just gives you awareness. It doesn't cure you. There's
mm,
no such thing as a cure. It just helps you learn. It helped me at least how to navigate the world with the experiences that I had already had in a
mhm.
healthy way. People are like, why are you going to therapy? I was like, because I'm tired of my past bleeding
Yeah.
onto my future. I want to
Mm,
have the chance to have a healthy friendship, relationship with myself. And I can't do that if I've got all of this confusion. I don't even
right.
know what's happening. So it just made me aware, gave me tools, and helped me navigate in a healthier way. It changed my life in so many different ways. It even changed my motivations. Like
Mhm,
I was an advocate in the LGBT community for a long time. I talked about gender inequality,
mhm,
I talked about racial inequality, stuff like that. And I was thinking, like, why is it that I care so deeply about all of these situations that I'm not really like a part of? I'm not a part
mhm,
of any of these groups.
mhm.
And we were able to connect it back to fifth grade.
Ooh.
When I was in fifth grade, I was living out in New Jersey. There was only one black kid in our class. And one of the other kids in the class called him the N word when we were
Mm,
out at recess. And because the kid who got called the N word knew that I wouldn't fight back, he beat the hell out. Can we curse on here?
wow. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he
Mhm.
beat the shit out of me. Like he had me on the
Wow.
ground. He was punching me in the face. Now, that's not the part I'm talking about. The part I'm talking about is recess got done and people were stepping over me while I was getting my face pounded in.
Oh, no.
You want to talk about issues with worthiness.
Yeah.
And so in my brain, I was like, I'm watching people get mistreated and I'm not going to step over them the way I was stepped over.
Mm.
And if I hadn't gone to therapy and connected the dots there, I would have never truly understood myself and my motivations for doing what I do.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
That's really interesting how therapy can do that. Also, I just want to say thank you for actually using a curse word, because I remember when I was on your podcast and I had asked, I'm like, can I use what word did I use? I forgot what word I used.
Probably G Willikers or something like that. Who knows?
It was something so innocent. I was like, can I
Yeah.
curse? And then I think I said like ass or something. It was like
Oh
something
no.
so I was like, and you were just like, really?
Too wholesome for the room. Too wholesome for the room.
It's really interesting, yeah, because it's really interesting that therapy can do that for somebody. So, and I know there's going to be, people that are listening to this that are like, I don't know, I don't need therapy like that. It's not something that I need. I figured shit out on my own, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Not to like not validate their feelings, because everybody has the right to feel that way, and that's totally fine. But if somebody is listening and they either feel as though they don't need therapy, or therapy isn't worth it, what would you say to them right now?
How do you know until you've tried it?
Mm,
You know, people have multiple reasons why they don't go. If they feel like they can work it on their own, they can.
mhm,
I had to have a situation happen because I didn't go to therapy till I'm 41 now. I started going to therapy when I just turned 39,
Mm.
or 30, 38, 39.
Yeah.
And, this is a long time to carry all that stuff around with me. And so I had a situation, I was like, I just got to a point of exhaustion where I was like, why am I like this?
Yeah.
And I was beyond my capacity to understand myself. In the end, in order to get true understanding, you have to get an outside view, and you can't outside view yourself.
Right.
Fish, with the analogy, fish don't know that they're in a fishbowl. We know they're in a fishbowl because we can see the fishbowl. And that's what a therapist is.
Ooh. At some point, I'm gonna have to talk to you about like this theory that I read the other day about how we as human beings might be in a fishbowl of
Yeah.
sorts and not even realize it.
Might not even be here right now. I don't care. I don't have control over it. I'm just gonna do me while I'm here.
Yeah, right. I'm just gonna have fun and like
What do
whatever
they call that?
whatever.
That blue pill? Is that blue? I'll
Yeah,
take the blue
I think
pill.
he took the blue pill.
I'll take
Yep.
the. I don't need to know everything. Ignorance is
Right.
bliss. Leave me alone.
Yes, leave me alone. Let me make silly videos and put them online, please.
Yeah.
Like, just
Yeah.
let's call it a day. Chris, this next section is for my Instagram subscribers. Instagram subscribers, say hello to Chris. Chris is here for
Gross.
you.
Go away.
No, it's gross. How dare you? How dare you support my platform?
Follow me on
financially?
Instagram.
How dare you support my platform financially? How dare you, you crazy people?
I know.
I appreciate y'all very much. And so this is going to be a quick fire little section, Chris, where I just want you to name 5 things that instantly, boom, snap of the fingers, boost your mood.
Puppies, mountains,
Yes.
Pizza, hugs, and oh no, I'm community.
Okay.
Like community.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was nice. I like
Yeah.
so okay, I'll take all of that, but replace the puppies with cats because I'm a cat guy.
Yeah, I'm allergic.
Oh, that's right.
And you know what? I love cats. I'm not anti-cat. I'm allergic to the proteins in their saliva. And the thing is like if you have a cat that hates humans and you tell me, oh, this cat is gonna leave you alone, 100% of the time they rub all over me because cats know. They know that you can't touch them, and they're like, I'm gonna get you. They get me.
My cats are they love just being hugged and just they want attention all the time.
Yeah.
Like
really?
all the
So
time.
you have dog cats then?
Oh yeah, they just want you to like recognize that they're there. I feel like this is my apartment. This is not my apartment. This is theirs. They happen to let me live here.
My couch
I'm thankful
because I just left Colorado. I'm back in Chicago now.
Yeah.
But the couch that I had when I sold it had a little divot where Clark used to curl up and just chill. It wasn't my couch. It was a massive couch. That was Clark's couch. Yeah.
Oh. Animals are the best.
I know. He saved my life. I don't know if I would have been able to do that pandemic without him because I was just by myself.
Yeah. Actually, and that is actually a perfect thing here. So like how I was going to ask how you felt the pandemic has changed the game when it comes to mental health. Do you like because I feel like people realized a lot of things when they were spending time alone, and staying at home. How do you think it's changed the mental health game?
I think people became aware, but I think a disproportionate amount of people are unaware of the global trauma we just went through and continue to go through. I think it forced us all into something that most of us were not prepared for, and so I think it shifted a lot of the way that we interact with each other. And I think there's both like negative and positive about it. And I also think we don't have control over it. And, people are going to people. And I just let them people.
Are going to people.
And I stopped trying to help. I'm just like, hey, I hear you. And then I move on. I just stopped getting involved because one realization I came to with the people who did not process it well is some people don't want to heal. There is community in being unhealed.
Yes.
And working on yourself, you can attest to this, and so can I, hurts It hurts. It's really difficult. And I don't blame anybody
Painful.
for not trying,
Yeah,
because
it
you
is
have to shift.
painful.
You have to shifting your worldview,
Mm-hmm.
learning things that you don't like about yourself and
Mm-hmm.
changing it.
Mm-hmm.
That's a huge check to the ego.
Oof.
You got to release that ego.
100.
Yeah.
100%. Like, and even for me in the past year, since my most recent relationship, I had to look at things internally about me that I had to be like, okay, Kai, let's talk about that for you internally. Why this? Why that? I had to dive deep into a part of me that I've been ignoring and or suppressing for a very long time, and that shit hurts.
Yeah.
But it's worth it. It's so worth it because I'm so proud of the person that I am now, and I know that you speak a lot about this as well, about how proud you are with the work that you've put into yourself over the past amount of years. And like I said, this is still fairly new to me, like, and I know you said when you were 39. I'm 36. I was diagnosed with most of my shit when I was 35. Like, this is all like
Yeah.
still very, very new for me. And I have two more things for you, Chris. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna solve the world right now. We're gonna make sure
Okay, sure.
yeah. So
I can't
for
even
two
solve
moments,
myself. Okay, let's be very clear.
we're gonna fix the world right now.
Okay.
So Chris, if you had a magic wand, Harry Potter style, I'm proud Slytherin, by the way, which people will probably
Hufflepuff.
laugh at. I think I knew that, but Hufflepuffs and Slytherin get along.
Here's the thing.
Yeah,
I told somebody that I was Hufflepuff, and they
yeah.
looked at me and went, "You're not Hufflepuff." And I feel like they were calling me a dickhead. I feel like that's
I
what they were saying.
do. What did they want you to be?
They probably thought I was Slytherin.
Really, if I had to guess, I would have said you were Gryffindor. Would have been my guess.
Look, I don't really give a shit. I'm not into Harry Potter. Like, I like the movies. I enjoy the rides. The rides at
The rides are
Universal
great.
in
Yes.
Orlando is
Oh,
they're
so good.
incredible.
Oh my
That
God, so good.
Hagrid's
Hagrid's thing. Oh my
motorcycle,
God. Yes.
it was so much
Yes.
fun.
I sat front row and I didn't know what to expect. And I don't want to ruin it for anybody but there's a section in it that like
Oh yeah,
I
not
was
ready for.
not ready
So
at all.
cool.
I was like, oh my God. That was great.
Yeah,
So if you had a magic wand and you could change the world, so like specifically around men's mental health, you can abracadabra, what's one thing that you would change in the world surrounding men's mental health?
I would open everybody's ears
Mm,
and close their mouths.
mm,
Look, I understand that men are the cause of a lot of issues in the world, and I condemn that shit too.
mhm,
But we can never truly understand each other if all we do is talk. I literally have the word listen tattooed right here on my chest. It was
mhm,
a lesson from my grandmother.
mhm,
Because a lot of times when people are looking for advice, they just want someone to listen.
mm,
A lot of the reasons that men don't talk is because nobody's listening. When we talk, it's met with comparison and invalidation.
mhm,
When we talk, it is met with weaponization later.
mhm.
Create safety and open your ears. Check your bias long enough. And if you can't do that, then don't enter the conversation.
Mm.
Not asking for special treatment, just basic human respect and the same respect that you would expect for you. Create a safe space for everyone. Everybody thrives.
You just fixed it. You fixed it. We're all good.
It's
It's
not
all
going to
fixed
happen
now.
though. I understand
Yeah,
people have different capacities, and that was a
sure.
realization that I had to have. Is like, most people don't care about anything but themselves.
Mm,
Caring about other people is actually a unique trait,
mhm.
and people are going to view you through their lens of their experiences, not what is actually happening.
Right, right.
So spend time investigating, but also understand that you're not going to have
Mhm.
people aren't you. This is a phrase I heard on my podcast. I was like, stop shooting all over people.
Yeah, yeah,
You should be this. Why? Who are
yeah.
you? It's should is you placing your value system on somebody else.
Right.
Should on yourself, not
Yeah.
other people.
Right, right, right. I want you to speak for the last thing here, Chris. I want you to speak directly to the people that I know in my audience are struggling.
Mm-hmm.
One of the benefits of having platforms like this is that you get to talk with a lot of people, and people tell you their stories, the things that they've been successful in, the things that they struggle with, their own mental health journey. And I know for a fact that there are people out there that are right now like just on the struggle bus, like and not sure what's next for them or what to do or how to handle that. Can you just talk to them and tell them something that you think that they should hear right now?
I mean, I think the main thing is you're not alone. I mean, you're listening to me on this podcast. I'm in my parents' basement. I don't know where my life is going to go.
Mm-hmm.
I am in one of the deepest, darkest parts of my life, and it's absolutely terrifying every day. So you're not alone in that. Even the people you think have it all together, they don't either. But something to remember is you are the sky, and this time is the clouds. The sky is constant. The clouds will pass. So take your time to weather the storm, and eventually you'll get to the place that is going to bring you the happiness that you want. Just stay to that point so that you can get to the good part.
Amazing. Chris SupDaily Thompson preaching. It's not even a Sunday. We're recording this on a Saturday, and he's preaching like it's a Sunday.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm so happy that we've been talking about doing each other's podcast for the longest time. And we finally
you did
did
mine
it.
a long time ago. I don't even do my podcast anymore.
You what?
I don't do my podcast anymore. I
What?
might bring it back. No, I stopped so I went through a breakup. I moved in my parents' basement. I'm trying to figure out what my next step is. It was just too hard to keep up with. My life was in boxes. I was about to move to Australia, and it was just like too much. So I started a newsletter.
Oh, you're doing a newsletter instead of the. Oh,
I
okay.
think
But
I'm
it's still
gonna
called Unfiltered Friends.
Yeah, I think I'm going to bring the podcast back and have it just me riff like this. No guests, just talk about what's in the newsletter. But the reason I wanted to shift to a newsletter is because when you put something on social media, people are going to encounter it. And if it doesn't apply to them, some of them are going to get upset about it. Or some people are going to make assumptions about why you're talking about it or your character. Anybody who signs up for this newsletter knows what the newsletter is about, which is personal growth and development. And I'm sharing my journey as I go through it. I'm not an after, I'm a during. You know, they know who I am, they know what I'm about, they know why they're there, and they're ready to work. And those are the people that I want to talk to. So I'm basically taking the messages, because it's not about the most people. Even though, like, I have one issue out, we already have 500 people who are on the. So now I have contact with them. I have all their emails. So if I want to go back and forth, but it also reduces the noise, because I feel like a lot of the people who could be leading a more nuanced part of the conversation are not in comment sections, because it's just not worth the heat. We are being led by some of the most polarized, unhealthy human beings. So I'm like, hey, like this is another conversation I have with my therapist, and we kind of talked about how, like, I covered LGBT and I was in the racial space and the gender space and stuff like that, and I was like, I'm able to exist in all those spaces, which, especially as a white man, is a privilege. Like, I do look at it as a privilege, but I'll never be let in the house, because I'm never going to understand experientially for you what it's like to be a black man. I'll never know that. I was like, I always feel other. And he was like, well, how about this? Instead of trying to find a way into the house or sitting on the front porch, build your own house and gather people from all of those spaces that you're able. In. So that's what I'm doing. And let me tell you, it is heaven.
Yeah,
it is heaven. I've got the exact right people, and I'm so happy that this venture began. And it's really exciting. And maybe it expands beyond that, but at least I have that core of people who are there to do what we're going to do and know what I'm about. Like, because I give tough advice sometimes, and people look at it as an attack. I was like, no, I believe in you. But if you're not in a place to hear it, it doesn't go well. So this is a place where people know, this is a place where I'm going to be direct like this, but my heart is in it for you. It's not abuse. You know,
amazing. Well, for anybody that's listening or watching right now that wants to join in on this newsletter, I will include all of that information in the description area of this. So if you're listening right now, you're like, hell yeah, I want to be a part of that. I want to join that community. Click the link that I have in the description down at the bottom, and join. Chris, you're amazing. Like, I really do. Thank you for. I was about to say thank you for being a friend. I was about to sing it. But thank you for being a friend. Like, legit, like you're a fantastic content creator. Me starting out as a content creator, I looked up to you. I still do, and I just appreciate everything that you have done for me. We speak all the time, and like you've been a very great friend of mine. So just like thank you for everything. I really do appreciate it.
I need it too, brother. So thank you for being that for me as well.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I can't. We should have a TV show. I think we should. They should give us a TV show.
I mean, what would we call it? The crying hour.
The That's
We just sit there, hug and cry, and then eat snacks.
And he sucks. And half the episode is me trying to keep my cats away from you.
And then the introverted 15 minutes where we sit
Yes.
in opposite sides of the room and scroll. So it's what's it, Alone Together? I love that.
Yeah, I love to, or body doubling too. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yep. That's exactly. And people are gonna be like, "What am I watching right now?"
This is life, okay? Live it.
Oh my God, Chris, I appreciate it. Everybody, thank you so much for listening. Listeners, remember, it's okay to seek help. It's okay to feel. It's okay to feel the way that you're feeling. Every journey is unique, but together we can pave a way to understanding and compassion. Until next time, keep vibing. Much love, good vibes. I'll talk to you later. Bye.